Oh, this is some great stuff. Something to be thankful for this Thanksgiving. The death of woke, the death of DEI and woke. We've been covering this, how shall I put it, bullshit for some time since it really started kicking into gear. I mean, I got put on steroids during the Biden administration and pronouns and all this crap. I first encountered this DEI woke stuff. This is going back to the Obama years. And I may have told this story before here on the show. I'm minding my own business in my office, and I get a phone call from the labor department. Why? And they're asking me questions about the personnel at Markowski Investments. And they wanted to know how many minorities I had working at Markowski Investments. And, quite frankly, it pissed me off, to put it lightly. Who in the world do these people think they are, bothering me, taking up my time? What difference is it to you how many minorities I have? All that should matter is how many competent employees that I have, not what color they are. Anyway, we've watched it get completely out of control, where you've got government agencies pushing this crap. The SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, making sure companies have woke policies, corporate boards getting involved in this complete, utter BS. And many of them paid the price. Many of them paid the price. I actually had somebody from BlackRock asked me the question last week. They're like, how hated are we in the state of Florida? Anyway, got companies, Tractor Supply, John Deere, Harley Davidson, Polaris, Indian Motorcycle, Lowe's, Ford, Coors, Stanley, Black & Decker, Jack Daniels, DeWalt Tools, Craftsman, Caterpillar, Boeing, Toyota, all moving away from all that toxic DEI stuff. Now we've got America's largest employer, Walmart. They're ending their woke policies. All done. Walmart will no longer participate in the HRC's Woke Corporate Equality Index. They're going to monitor the Walmart marketplace to identify and remove inappropriate sexual or transgender products marketed to children. Review all funding of Pride and other events to avoid funding inappropriate sexualized content targeting kids. Not going to extend the Racial Equity Center. Supplier diversity. We're going to evaluate supplier diversity programs and ensure they do not provide preferential treatment and benefits to suppliers based on diversity. We don't have quotas and won't have any quotas going forward. Latinx. I still don't know what the hell that means. Walmart will no longer use the term in official communications. Training. Walmart will discontinue racial equity training through the Racial Equity Institute. Oh, yeah, baby. Woke's going away. You want to hear something funny, too? What they always talk about? It's toxic. It's toxic. I need my safe space. Right. Well, as it turns out, all of your DEI woke programs actually had the opposite effect. They increased hostility and racial tensions in the workforce. Surprised? No. Here it is. Research by the Network Contagion Research Institute and Rutgers Social Perception Lab found that DEI practices pushed on participants led to some of them to become irrationally confrontational and antagonistic. The evidence presented in these studies reveals that while purporting to combat bias, some anti-oppressive DEI narratives can engender a hostile attribution bias and heighten racial suspicion, prejudicial attitudes, authoritarian policing, and support for punitive behaviors in the absence of evidence for a transgression deserving punishment. Wow. Are you surprised? No. You want even something more surprising? We found out the New York Times had this story, and they spiked it. They were going to run it, and they spiked it at the 11th hour. They couldn't bring themselves to do it. Anyway, the death of woke and DEI. Well, you know, you want to make sure that woke and DEI is dead. Okay? Yeah, I remember the Saturday Night Live skit years ago where there was like a collection of James Bond villains, you know, and you know, they're all debating with one another. You know, the next time you get a hold of them, just shoot them. Don't do an elaborate, you know, way to kill him. Don't try to shoot a laser through him. You remember Goldfinger? Just kill him. Just shoot him. But anyway, we got to make sure we really kill this. Mike Gonzalez and Armin Tooley from the Heritage Foundation had a piece today in the Wall Street Journal with some ideas on how to really break this up. And first and foremost, this is important. Woke DEI, it's got to have a definition. And I like what they put forward here. Woke means believing America is riddled with inequities, where not only its people, but the system itself is racist and in need of systemic overhaul, where society is divided between the oppressors and the oppressed, where history must be expunged and rewritten. This is a world of make-believe, but for the woke elite, its colors everything from climate policy to the Israeli-Hamas war. The elite has spent years infusing every institution with policies, procedures, and mandates aimed at transforming society. Diversity, equity, inclusion measures, particularly in government and academia, have created an identity-based system in which people's immutable characteristics, not their choices, determine whether they are worthy of awards or punishment. Okay, let's spike it. Let's kill this thing. You know, you got to put the spike through the vampire's heart, right? Got to get rid of it. Rescind and reverse all of Biden's bullshit. Executive orders implementing DEI and gender theory, including Executive Order 13985, which advanced a whole of government equity agenda. Biden also signed executive orders supporting gender-affirming medical interventions on minors. Again, it's child abuse. I mean, this is evil, biblical, crazy crap, puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, surgeries. No. He said, Trump should sign 2 executive orders. The first should reinstitute his 2020 ban on DEI training for federal workers and contractors. The second should define male and female. Again, not a difficult thing to do. Everybody's seen Kindergarten Cop. The little boy in the front tells Arnold Schwarzenegger, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. Really that simple. Should I? You know what? Funny story talking about this, because again, you get some of these people. Well, there was that I don't know, it's like a state rep in Colorado claiming that this guy pretending to be a girl, but again, there's no difference biologically. Yeah. This is, you couldn't do it nowadays. The basement in my fraternity, we had men's and women's bathrooms. We used to have our parties down there, and we had some good artists in my fraternity. I remember they had painted a picture, nice, of a rooster on the men's bathroom and of a cute beaver on the women's bathroom. Just saying. Anyway, Congress should then pass, and Trump should sign the Dismantle DEI Act, currently working its way through the House, which would eliminate DEI practices throughout the federal bureaucracy and woke university practices. Trump has this plan. It would change the accreditation system, protect free speech, eliminate wasteful administrative positions, and use the Justice Department to file lawsuits against schools who continue to engage in racial discrimination. This is important, too. Get control of museums, starting with the Smithsonian Institution. Smithsonian museums have forsaken their mission of spreading knowledge and instead are trying to decolonize society. The National Museum of American History, African American History and Culture, has an entire webpage deriding white fragility and white dominant culture. Trump should ask Congress to restore ideological balance by appointing real conservatives willing to stand up to progressive views on the Board of Regents, which governs the Smithsonian. This board is responsible for appointing the Smithsonian secretary or chief executive officer. The current secretary says DEI is integral to excellence in a museum practice. Oh, shut up. Eliminate the census, racial and ethnic categories. Damn straight. I've said this going back 20 years ago. Hyphenated Americans. What the hell is that bullshit? I'm this American. I'm that American. No, I don't care where you're from. Okay. Your passport's the same color of mine, no matter what your skin are. Okay. Enough with this. Black, white, do this all the time. Asian. No, it's nonsensical. These categories form the lifeblood of identity politics and are often synthetic. Some were added to the census only recently. The ethno-racial pentagon, American Indians or Alaska Natives, Asian or Pacific Islanders, Blacks, Hispanics, and whites emerged in the U.S. Office of Management and Budget's Statistical Policy Directive in 1977. Started being used in the census in 1980. Again, order directing OMB to rescind the 1977 directive and ordering the census to abandon these faux categories. I agree. If you're really interested in disparities, why don't you ask questions that have real bearing on people's backgrounds, which we've talked about here on the program. They never do this, and the news media never does. Journalists never do this. How about got a problem here? How about, is there a dad in the house? I'm just asking here. Are there two parents in the household? Dissolve the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which funds public media organizations that are responsible for spreading the woke mind virus. Trump can't control private companies, but NPR, PBS, yep, they get millions in taxpayer dollars. Millions. Again, it's not too much to be done. But again, like I said, put a spike in it. Put a spike in the DEI woke heart. And let's stop dividing America. That's what these things do. Divide us, put us into different camps, get us arguing and yelling and screaming at one another. Politicians love this. They love victim classes, the old divide and conquer. WatchDog on wallstreet.com.